I do apologize in advance for the terrible lighting, but here we are on my Brother PR600. Now, you can see here, when I brought in the file, I did have to rotate the design, not a big deal. And you can see here we have our text, and then we have these two lines that we're going to use to register our template that we're going to be cutting our text out of, our fabric. But you can see here, I did go ahead, even though it's showing two different colors, I'm telling it to pull from spool 2, which is my white thread. So we're going to go ahead and stitch this out using our second spool, which both pieces will stitch out with white thread. So I'll go ahead and get that done and we'll move on. The lighting is terrible, but I thought I could show you some. So you see how long those stitches are. Now I did a big jump stitch from the top to the bottom because that's how it was digitized. But you can see it did add the underlay. Now it's doing the satin portion of the letter P. And it's gonna do I thought I had put in a thread trim there, but maybe I didn't. But I did that in the My Editor software. Let's see there, it's doing the underlay. Doing the zigzag. And then it's going to come in and do our satin. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and let all that stitch out in that order. And then we'll show you how we're going to utilize those two lines to line up our pattern that we need to cut the fabric out of. So now you can see it's all stitched out. You can see those long 5mm stitches on our running stitch there. Satin looks good. We got to trim just a couple of our thread jumps there, not a big deal. And then we're ready to cut out our fabric, and we'll see how we use those registration lines to cut out our fabric. So hopefully I can explain this where it makes sense. Now I used 2 layers of tearaway on the back here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these registration lines to take my template and just line up my template here with those 2 lines. Okay? And so now I know I can cut that, and because the template is square to these lines, see, it's not like that, or it's not like that, right? And these lines are lining up, so it's not this way. You know, if it was over those lines, then we know the text would be shifted. But because we have those lines digitized, if we line our template up perfectly to those 2 lines, then we know we're centered top to bottom, and we're centered left to right, and our text is going to finish off the way we want it to finish off on the finished piece. So then I'm just going to use my rotary cutter here, follow my template. Okay, now I have a laser cutter, so I make all of my templates. Like in this case, I did it out of poster board, or I'll use 1/8 inch plywood and I'll laser cut it, and that's what I'll use for my templates when I'm cutting fabric. But this is a simple one, so we're going to go ahead and cut this out, and we're going to stitch this up and make a carrot for the Easter basket for Paisley here. So I will go ahead and get this cut out. I'll make it into a carrot, and I'll show you the finished product.